Hello guys, and welcome to another day with Zimaleta. In today's video, this video is going to be about time management. I think time management is one of the most important things that you could basically manage. Probably even more important than time. Time management means you could go from being successful to being completely non-successful. That being said, I'm surprised I have any type of success because I have the worst time management. But here's the thing. We're going to talk a little bit about my time management and what I actually think that it's going to be best way to actually manage time. Now, I think that, look, we all have 24 hours in a day, and that's how much we have. And about 6 of it to 8 hours should actually go to sleep. Most successful people, they sleep about 6 hours. The rest of it is devoted to actually, their businesses and stuff like that. So that would be about 18 hours of time that they actually, devote themselves. So, question is, how many hours do I actually devote to that? And I'm afraid to answer that because not very much. You see, guys, I have created passive income, and for the past 4 years, I've been pretty much working on creating it, kind of like watering the plant, as they say. And it has grown, and I have passive income from many different sources. So I have the worst time management, yet I still feel somewhat successful, and it's growing. But the thing about it is, I want to actually change the portion about my time, and I want to actually manage it better. And every time I think about doing it, the very next day, I'm not able to keep it, And let me first tell you what time I think I should be getting up at if you want to have good time management. I think I should be getting up around 6 a.m. A lot of successful people, they get up around like 4 a.m. But for me, 4 a.m., I'm not there yet, okay? So 6 a.m. would be still pushing it. I'm not a morning person. You know what time I get up, guys? Between 11 and 12 o'clock. It's like most of the time, I'm getting up exactly 12 o'clock. So when I actually look at my time on the phone, I'm like, oh, 12 o'clock. No alarm set. My phone normally, the way I actually live my life now, because my phone is normally set to like silent. That's it. It's always silent. So if I miss any type of calls from anybody, including my friends, it's because my phone is always on silent. I don't even, look at it for the phone calls and stuff like that. I don't expect to really get anything. Almost seems like I'm antisocial, which is completely not true. But I put it on silent, and I do whatever I have to do. So like nobody wakes me up if I'm sleeping, or if I'm doing something, nobody's gonna disturb my video. And of course now mainly I'm recording everything using my GoPros, so no phone calls will interrupt that. So usually I don't even have the iPhone next to me, so if it rings, I'm not even there. And half of the time I'm making videos anyways. But I do a lot of stuff on my phone, and that takes probably majority of my time, and that's actually for passive type of income. I work on my phone. But anyways, you see, I get up about 12 o'clock exactly. It's because the way my mind is and the kind of routine I have made for myself. Really, going back to, when my life started, I always liked getting up kind of late. I don't know if most of us do, maybe. But to me, it was actually a dream life if you could just get up, a little bit later, like an afternoon, like 12 o'clock. That is kind of like a dream for me. Like I always wanted to wake up at 12 o'clock, and I always said I want to make money while I sleep, And, I don't make that much money. I make enough, but in a way it's not enough. I mean, is it ever enough, right? You always want more. But it's enough to cover all my bills. I don't have to worry about like month to month, like will I be able to cover my bills. I do come close though sometimes, and sometimes I'm thinking, okay, maybe that's like another thing is maybe my spending habits, they're a little bit out of control because I do spend a lot of money. But the spending habits aside, I was never a stingy person. I like to give information, I like to give stuff, I give a lot of stuff away. That's just the type of person that I am. I'm never like attached like to things, okay? I'm not very materialistic. As a matter of fact, I actually think I'm a minimalist. There's minimum amount of stuff that I need to actually keep me happy. So mainly all I want to do is I want to just basically give, you know, whether it's information that I want to share with people or stuff. So sometimes when people come over my house, I just give them a lot of stuff because I get a lot of stuff. Some of the stuff I get for free, some of the stuff I don't need anymore, so I just give it away. Never like attached. So that being said, this is kind of like why I think in a way that I do about money. Like it's like not a big deal, like in a way, but I still want to, of course, create it like passively, and I still want to have, you know, enough of it. Seems like I'm blubbering already. So anyways, because I wake up at 12, I end up basically working throughout the whole day, and then some of it goes into the night. Basically I go to sleep about like 3 a.m. Like today, this morning, I went to sleep at exactly 5 a.m. You know what time it is right now, guys? It's probably like about 2:30 p.m. right now. And guess what? I crawled out of bed at about afternoon, like, you know, like 12 o'clock for about an hour. I'm checking my phone. I'm setting everything up. I'm probably, you know, uploading a video and stuff, you know, like to YouTube. I'm checking on stuff, all my social media and, you know, like my emails and stuff, like what did I miss? So that's kind of like what I'm doing. That's like my routine. And I'm doing that while I'm actually making my coffee. And then I literally drink coffee for about an hour. Like for me, drinking coffee, like that's like an experience. I really enjoy drinking coffee. So I'm just like sitting there, you know, scanning my phone and stuff like that. Because mainly my stuff is passive, like my income is passive. And I'm using my phone to actually generate pretty much all of it. I kind of like in a way don't even need a laptop. Everything I do, it is pretty much online, and the phone is what I need. And I need a really fast connection. Which, that's like another thing that I'm lacking a little bit, because I do have satellite internet here in a rural area. It is very expensive. I'm paying like 75 bucks a month, and that only has 20 gigs. My kids are on YouTube, 2 days, it's gone. So it's like not even there. So I don't even consider like I have internet. But that being said, it's still enough for me to create my videos and start uploading them. Like, you know, when I go to sleep, I start uploading them, and they finish uploading by the time I wake up. So that is not a big issue, but it is an issue when I'm trying to manage my channel. I'm trying to get in there and open stuff up and open emails. You know, it's really slow. So I'm relying right now on my internet on my phone, which is only 8 gigs a month, and I really have to kind of like save those gigabytes, because 8 gigs is nothing to me. I literally could also waste it in a couple days. It's gonna be gone if I'm watching YouTube videos. So I try to watch it on my Wi-Fi, because even though it's slow internet, they slow you down at 20 gigs. They don't charge you extra, so that's still manageable. I still watch a lot of YouTube, actually. That's like my main thing that I watch is YouTube. I used to watch Netflix. I don't have Netflix service anymore. There's a lot of stuff that I don't do that I used to do. But anyways, let's get back to time management. Here's kind of like something, okay? Every time I'm thinking about getting up at 6 a.m., I'm kind of thinking, you know, maybe I'm pushing it. Maybe it's gonna be like 8 or 9. But when I think about that, I still end up getting up at like about like, you know, 12 o'clock. But you know what I really want to do, guys? I want to be able to fit my whole schedule, what I do now, into an earlier routine. Just like, you know, wake up early in the morning, like at 6 o'clock. Because guys, I would get a lot more done. Even though most of the stuff is online, and I really don't need a daytime for me to do it. It's pretty much happening like any time. Like I'm making this video right now, there's no windows. You really can't tell what time it is outside. You do hear like cars whizzing by. That's about it. But I could make these videos at any given moment. So as soon as I have something to say, which in this case I actually did, and I wanted to make a video about it, because I think all of us we're struggling with time management. We're struggling with, you know, extra pounds that you added to yourself, and it's kind of hard to, you know, work out and stay on schedule. And I have the same issue. I also like to eat, so I'm eating away. I've gained like in the past month like 15 pounds, you know, and it's kind of staying right around like 203, 204 pounds. That's how much I weigh. So I don't look very fat, but you know, my belly's getting up in there, and you can tell my double chin and stuff like that. So that's really getting there, and that's really not even healthy. Most successful people, they're a lot more healthier because they manage everything correctly. Like they'll get up like at 4 o'clock in the morning, they'll do their stuff, whatever they have to do. They'll probably go to the gym about 6 a.m., work out, and then they're gonna start working on all of their projects. So naturally, they will go to sleep a lot sooner, maybe by 8 o'clock. And that means probably after 6 p.m., they're not going to be eating much. Therefore, they're not going to be adding much weight. But you know what happens to me? Because I'm staying those extra time, I'm munching on food all the time. Constantly munching, guys. All the time. Snacking, food, snacking, all the time. Just going back and forth. So ultimately, this is kind of getting in the way of me having a fit lifestyle. It's getting in the way of having a profitable lifestyle. And of course, you know, like eating too much is gonna cause me to gain weight and ultimately to be less successful in my life because of it. And I know these things, but you know, like in a way, you know, I was always dreaming of waking up late, and I really like to dream. You know, like I'm kind of like a dreamer in real life. I'm always imagining, you know, big things are happening all the time. Like I'm a dreamer, and hey, I'm happy doing it. So, you know, I don't think it's a problem. I'm always imagining something bigger than it actually is, but in a good way. I'm always thinking positive, and I have an imagination, like for, you know, being creative and stuff. So a lot of it, I kind of, you know, some of it, I get through my dreams because maybe I dream up something and it's interesting and I go do it. But I'm thinking, in a way, because of the way that my time management is, it is getting in the way of that, guys. So I'm thinking that this is a very simple thing to follow. Like, I have kids that go to school. They have to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. They have to, okay? Guess who gets up in the morning and, you know, dresses up all the kids? My wife. Because really, my kids only want my wife to do it. Like, they literally, that's what they want. They want to kiss my wife before they go to school and, you know, hug her and everything. And they like to spend a little time with her in the morning before they go on the bus. And it's really like a process. And, you know, that's how it is for them. So she gets up all the time and she, you know, does that and then, you know, goes on with her day. And me, I'm just like sleeping at 12. So by the time my kids come back from school, about like 2:30, well, I'm crawling out outside. I'm finally ready to start working. My kid's been at school all day and I'm now like starting my day, right? So naturally the sun is gonna go down about in another 2.5 hours, about 5 p.m. So guess what? I only have about 2.5 hours of daylight left. At best 3 hours. And right now I'm using that time to record this video. So that's not really good time management. Like if you're trying to make money, you know, outside of having like passive type of income, I would really not be successful. I'll be like the worst person you would want for basically doing something that's physical, that requires actually doing something. Yet I get a lot of stuff done. When I actually go out there in these couple of like hours, I get a lot of stuff done because I kind of like know what I'm doing, and you know, and I get out there and I still accomplish it, and I'll make my videos and stuff, and I'll still you know, like edit them and I'll render them, and I put a lot of work and effort into them. But because mainly everything's on my phone, like I feel I could do it at any time, and that's kind of true. But that does not change the fact that I'm really missing out on a lot of daylight, to say the least. If it's not money that I'm chasing, really, I'm missing out on daylight, because mainly, in order to do all these things that I'm doing here, you know how much time I put into it? So much time. I literally don't really have a lot of time for friends. I don't have a lot of time, you know, for family. You know, I give my family, like my kids, my wife, that's not, I don't consider that like, you know, like family, like I said. I mean like family overall, you know what I mean? I do give my wife attention and my kids attention. You know, I stop what I'm doing and I'll go there and I'll spend some time with them. So I'm not trying to be a lousy father here, or husband, you know, for that matter. So that is not me. So I do want to give them attention, but I think a lot of that attention is also being missed out, because technically if I got up early, you know, I could have spent time at least, you know, with my wife, you know, like longer and stuff like that while kids are at school. I could have taken that time like at 6 o'clock in the morning and just take my wife on a date, and then maybe go to the fitness center, to the YMCA. We're members here locally. So I could have simply drove there. We could have went to the pool, to the sauna, minimally, you know, aside from like working out. But that would have been a lot better quality of life. And here I am, paying for membership all this year. I'm like hardly even going. And that is a little bit disappointing. And part of the reason is because time management. Time management does not allow me to actually do that. Because by the time I get ready to do some stuff, well, I need to do some stuff outside. And 2.5 hours, 3 hours later, sun is down. Usually I get, you know, finished with doing my stuff, but not always. Sometimes I'm thinking, man, if I just had like another extra hour, I would have got it accomplished. and I don't have that because I didn't do it correctly. So I like to play the blame game, and I'm blaming my expedite career for the past 13 and a half years that I've been actually working. Now it would have been 14, but it's not fair to say that it's 14 because for mainly this year I haven't been really working. In January of this year, 2019, when I'm actually speaking, I worked like 1 week, and in February I worked like 1 week. That's it. I literally was able to manage the whole income from my the whole bills and everything from my passive income. And thankfully it is growing, and I'm learning a lot of new things, and I've got a lot done. When it comes to that, I've got a lot done this year because I was able to stay home and really like manage stuff. But I started kind of like working on my passive income when I was actually like an expediter, and I had a lot of days where I'm just like sitting there, and if you guys watching this, you guys, like my regular type of viewers here on this channel, a lot of you guys you're expediting out there, and a lot of you guys, we are like-minded individuals. We take, at least we think similarly in similar ways, and we have about the same type of interest. I am a hard worker, guys, don't get me wrong. You could see everything that I'm doing here. I do put my time into it, but I'm putting the time in at the wrong type of time. If I would have just done it earlier, I started earlier, I would have still got more done online, and I would have got more done outside, like whatever I have to do, and I would have more time like with my family and stuff like that. So ultimately that would have worked out a lot better for me. And gosh, like that is like the hardest thing for me, guys. It is the hardest thing to make the switch because it is not mentally here that I have to get up at 6 in the morning, because I'm thinking, well, if I don't, I'll still make money, I'll still be able to get my ends meet. And that's kind of like the thing. I am still thinking I'm gonna be able to be successful even though I sleep. Like I literally think that I will be a millionaire doing that. Like that is the messed up way of thinking that I am, and that's probably like not true because I'm like fooling myself, but I'm kind of thinking, I mean, it is impossible. I'm doing so much online, so many passive things that how could I not be successful? Like that's the way I think, and this is the way of the future, and we are living in the information age. So I'm kind of thinking I am riding a wave, like I am probably doing it correctly. But what would happen if that wave stopped? Man, I would like not survive it. Or if it was like Stone Age and I had to go kill a mammoth, to supply my family with food, I would probably leave late. Ultimately, probably end up being hungry. Probably I would lay way less. Now food is accessible. I could just go in my pantry, get whatever I want, and that'll be the end of it. But ultimately, guys, this is, and I'm like telling myself like through this video, I have to get up now like 6 o'clock in the morning because I do want to go spend some time with my wife, take her on a date. I do want to go to the fitness center while my kids are at school. They're doing their thing. We would go to the fitness center. Ultimately, we spend some time together. That would be fun, and then I would be able to have more time to make more videos and do stuff that I need to do outside while it's daytime. And then later on, like when light settles, I could actually do some video editing, or possibly once I'm done outside, I could just get in there and start working on that. Because, guys, having a channel and anything like a blog and any kind of like online business, that really requires totally different type of time management. A lot of stuff that I do requires me to communicate with China, and I communicate with hundreds of different type of brands, and I get probably about like 5 emails to 10 emails per day. So I have to answer those emails, and there's a lot of back and forth. And usually China, they start their work about when it's midnight here. So I end up staying up till about like 3 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning to manage all that stuff. And then there's still hobbies. I have like my own hobbies that I like to do, and I spend a lot of time on my hobbies. Actually, I really give myself, guys, a lot of time to do my hobbies. And actually, if you think about it, like YouTube started out as a hobby. This was a hobby, and everything else was kind of like as a hobby. And the way I see it, that you should always do a business that you really enjoy. That's the way I think, that if you're not enjoying like what you're doing, then kind of like, what are you doing? Because it's not that fun making money anymore. It's not that fun, getting up anymore. But the whole idea is why I started doing this in the first place, the way that I'm doing. It's because, with the creating, like online type of a passive income, it's because I really want to sleep in more. That was like kind of like my dream. Like I could just do whatever I want, and I kind of got that. But now I'm kind of thinking, is it what I want? I really don't really know what I want anymore. And I'm kind of thinking, you know, I probably want more time. I probably want to be more healthier. I mean, now it's an obvious reason. I'm 38 years old. I really should be thinking about not being overweight and being a lot healthier. There's a lot of stuff that I do that's not healthy, but that's the way I always kind of thought, like, man, like, you know, life is short. You better enjoy like what you're eating. So like, if you like Coke, drink it up. If you like steaks, eat them up, because man, you don't know if you're gonna be like dying in a car accident the next day. You know, you don't know like when your life is gonna end. So I always been kind of thinking, you know, just enjoy life. Just do whatever you want. Make sure you're happy living your life and you have like no regrets when you're done with it, you know. So for me, that was important, you know, like what I want. Like, I'm listening to really like my wants, and then of course my family wants. My kids are important, my wife is important, so I really, you know, give them as much as I can, you know, financially, you know, like emotionally, physically, and I'm trying to be there for them, because, you know, family for me is like one of the most important things. This is another reason why I kind of like left Expedite, so I could be more with my family. So I'm there more with them now, but I'm still following the Expediter routine, kind of like I'm waking up late, you know, and stuff like that. But in Expedite, if you think about it, like working for 13 and a half years in Expedite, if you think about it, your hours are really messed up in Expediting. And for, you know, habits usually form within like 4 to 6 months. You could change your habits. Like, as long as you start following a certain routine, within like probably like 3 months, you're gonna notice that you're actually craving different foods. You're craving exercise, if that's what you were doing. You're craving getting up earlier in the morning. You're gonna start craving that, and that really takes between 3 and 6 months to change that, as long as you work on that. But if you think about it, like with Expedite, I had 13 and a half years to change my habits. So my habits were always like really weird, because sometimes I get work at 6 p.m. and they don't load me sometimes, like at some of those companies, and you guys know, like if you've been ever at Ryder trying to get a load over there, you come there at 6 p.m. That's about the time they get you in there in Michigan, and then in about like, let's say like 15 to 30 minutes, they'll load you maybe, but then you're gonna be waiting for paperwork for about 4 to 5 hours, and that is the problem. They're, like, every time they say, oh yeah, we're just waiting for the paperwork from the warehouse, like, you know, it's gonna take like 15 minutes, and it's not. So you're left thinking, like in a parking lot, that maybe 15-30 minutes, you know, they're gonna be done. And every time you keep going back and checking and checking and checking, especially in a cold weather like this, you're like, you know, because you want to just get up and go, and usually you have your truck probably like idling and stuff, and it takes 4 to 5 hours. And after a while, I've kind of learned that, and I just say, hey, listen, here's my phone number. When you get the paperwork, just call me, because I go to sleep. Because here's the problem: you come there, you get loaded at, let's say, like 6 p.m. You don't get out there by 11, 12 midnight. And you have to be driving now for like 800 miles, 1200 miles, 1300 miles, you know, what have you. So therefore, you're missing out on a lot of sleep. And by the time you deliver, I mean, it's probably 12 o'clock in a day, in the afternoon. So then you go to sleep. So some days you're going to be sleeping at daytime, sometimes in the morning, sometimes you're going to be sleeping at night. So schedule is all over the place. So 13 and a half years, different type of habits forms, you know, for like Expediters. And most of them, you see, a lot of them end up being overweight, and that's because when you're driving, it's kind of boring, like in a way. You're munching a lot because of that, and you're sitting a lot, you're not moving around, so therefore you're not really burning any calories. So that doesn't really help things, and you get to that unhealthy routine, not by choice, but that's just a lifestyle, you know. But for me, Expedite was like kind of like my dream job, really, because it had everything that I liked. It had travel. I love travel. I was traveling, so for me, yeah, it was a little bit like romantic type of a job. The only thing that was not there was my family, which is important to me. But even though, once you're out there for a couple weeks and you really get into the flow of things, you get used to anything. You know, people get used to anything. So then you're in a routine. You're working and you're making money, and it's fun. So I like to make money. I like to travel, and of course I like to eat. So I was munching all the time, like when I'm driving, and getting extra pounds and stuff like that, and really not, you know, my sleep routine was out of whack, which was also fine with me because I like that type of lifestyle. That doesn't really help me now, does it? Now I'm thinking, you know, I'm home. I'm not Expedite anymore. Like, I need to really change my mindset. I really need to start getting up early so I could start enjoying living, because you see, this is something we forget about. For 13 and a half years, I really lost what I really wanted to do. The only thing I know is money, bills. I was, saving money for different things, and I was trying to accomplish different goals. But we kind of lose the sense of living and the sense of life. And before you know it, you kind of really lose yourself. And I think, I kind of lost myself, really. Because before I started expediting, that was not the thing I wanted to do. I mean, yes, I wanted to travel, but expediting, trucking, no, that was the last thing in my mind. As a matter of fact, I thought, what a waste of life being a trucker. My dad was trucking, before that, and I was always telling him, I said, listen, you only spend about, 2 to 3 days home every single month. That's no way to live. That's like, 30 to 40 days you spending at home out of the year. That's it. And yes, you're making all the money in the world and you're paying for this really nice place, but you don't have no life, and I little that I know, I was going to do the same thing, and I actually liked it, and I kind of thought, maybe it's because it's a van, maybe it's because I could park anywhere, maybe it's because it's not a truck. I feel like more like, more free. I have more freedom, and in a way, Expedite does give you these freedoms that really no other job has. I mean, you really are free, especially if you've been working for somebody for the past 40, hours in a week, and somebody's always telling you like what to do. Well, an Expedite, besides you getting a load and I'm telling you like when to deliver it, that's it. Like nobody's telling you what to do. Oh, for the most part, you're free. You could call anybody you want. You could talk to anybody you want, and it feels like you have the freedom. So, man, it's like that's like really important. I used to have this job where I was not even allowed to bring my phone inside. I was working for Microsoft, and at one time I was working for Sprint Call Center. You really could not bring your phone inside, and you could not really, talk to anybody. So you really belong to that company while you're working. So it's like you feel like that's it. Like they bought you time. That's it. Like whatever they pay you an hour, they bought you. You can't do nothing else. So of course, like with expediting, I kind of thought, you know what? There's a lot of free time. I have all this free time. Like what can I do with this time? And at first, you have like no ideas. You're thinking, oh, maybe it's eBay, and I'm saying like that's like no ideas, but you're thinking maybe I could do eBay on the side, but then you figure out, well, where would I keep the items, and then would I be able to sell stuff, and maybe you do it, maybe not. And then I kind of later on I was thinking maybe it's gonna be like Amazon FBA. Yeah, that's a little bit more convenient. I could buy this stuff, I could ship it to Amazon warehouse, and once it sells, they ship it out. Oh, that works for me, Of course, there was other ways of thinking about making money. Like, for instance, YouTube was not one of them at first. I really didn't think I was going to make anything on YouTube. As a matter of fact, I thought if I make an extra 30, 35 bucks of YouTube per month, that would have been really great, because I would be able to buy a new iPhone every year, just have that little payment, or I would pay for it cash, but I still kind of technically think I get my money back. So, that was kind of like that. And, I'm running out of things to say, and I really was actually going on the roll here. Just really, this brings a lot of thoughts and memories back of my mindset. I'm trying to share this with you guys best that I can, because I think a lot of us were struggling with the same thing. But ultimately, I put in so much time and effort into my channel, and I did a lot of research how to do it correctly, and I was really trying. It is actually a majority of my income is coming from YouTube, and then. I kind of figured out, which was like, I think it was like, it's exactly 1 year ago. I finally figured out affiliate marketing. I'm thinking, what is affiliate marketing? I didn't know nothing about it. I figured it out, and then, I started applying it. And I remember I started making like my first $10 a month. I'm thinking, great, it's free money. That pays for my Prime membership, because Prime membership cost between $120, $150, but at the time it was $100. So they changed, they moved it up a little bit. So it's free shipping. So I buy a lot of stuff on Amazon. So I'm thinking, well, that pays for my Prime membership, great, because a lot of the affiliates that I do is through Amazon. So that's kind of interesting. But right now, my affiliates are way out there, and they're doing really well, and I'm kind of thinking it's on track to probably pass my my YouTube income. That's like really interesting how that's working out. But then I have like all these other ideas what I could do, which I also want to launch my own brand. And if I launch my own brand, well, I really need to manage my time a little bit better, because because of that. But I have a lot of these different plans, guys, and I have to sometimes think ahead of doing something and then I change my mind. I change my mind a lot about a lot of things, and sometimes I delay some stuff from happening because a lot of times I'm thinking to myself, am I really going to be happy doing that, you know? And when I figure out I'm not, and it's gonna take up all my time and consume me, even though it's good money, I end up not doing it. Because to me it's really important, if you're doing something, it better be like what you like. And yeah, I do want to say this other thing, guys, because I was talking about losing myself. And if you stayed that long, thank you so much, because man, I really didn't plan on making this a 30-minute video. But I am really artistic and gifted with, you know, crafting stuff and, you know, just being good with my hands. That's the way I was. I mean, at least mentally, that's where I think I was. I like scholastics, I like shaping stuff out of clay, I like designing stuff. That's actually who I was. And mechanics, yes, it was a high interest to me. But because of all these jobs that came after high school, I really lost those dreams. I really lost those kind of like ideas that I actually wanted to do that. Because at first, that was engraved in my brain, like that's what I really liked. Nobody had to pay me, you know, to be sitting there drawing for several hours or sculpting something out of clay or working on a car. That's really what I enjoyed doing. But I kind of lost that because when you're just sitting there driving, you're kind of like a robot still. And you really can't do nothing else besides steer. So the only thing you could do is think with your mind, and you could steer. So in a way it's good, at least you could think, so nobody's really stopping you. That's how I came up with a lot of my affiliate stuff, because I'm thinking, look, a lot of the stuff that I'm gonna do, it doesn't matter, you know, I don't have to do it physically, you know, I have to be there. But this still does not change the fact that I really like doing stuff that was physical. I really liked exercising and working out. Before I got married, I was like, man, I was like completely in shape, guys. You know, and now trying to go back to that, like, that's gonna be really difficult. Now, if I try, most likely I'm gonna have even better results now because I weigh a lot more. Because back then I was like weighing like 135 pounds before I got married. Yeah, so that's a big difference. Going from 135 to 203, 204 pounds in just the last, you know, 14 years, which isn't much, but a lot has changed. And of course, getting older, we usually put on a lot more weight. But that also means you could take that extra weight and you could convert it into muscle, which actually will look, you know, you'll have better physique, you know, because of that. Before, I was just like really cut and lean, you know. So, you know, it was okay. It's kind of like a runner's type of body or swimmers, you know. But, you know, if I work out now, then I really probably will be really happy with the results. But guys, this being said, I do want to start changing some stuff and really start working on my hobbies, which requires my hands. This means sculpting stuff, maybe this time not out of clay, but maybe out of metal, because I really enjoy cars and working on cars and doing DIY projects. That ultimately, this is what I gotta be doing. Like, I really enjoy doing it. Like, ever since I was a kid, even before 8 years old, because my son's 8 years old, Kevin, that's why I bring him up, because I'm gonna mention him in a second. I had a dream of building my own car. And I had this dream when I was in Russia, when the cars were just like really like square cars in Russia. And I'm like, I'm gonna make a sports car, like, and you know, and whoever taught me of the, you know, sports cars back, you know, I was just a kid. I didn't see any sports cars. There wasn't no computer, internet, phones. Shoot, like, the TV wasn't even, you know, showing them, you know, at the time. It was like not a color TV, you know, and we didn't get to really watch that much TV. My dad really didn't let us have TV in the house. So the only time we got to watch TV was at my grandma's house. She wasn't watching, but my grandpa did. So, you know, that was back then. And I always had a dream, like, creating stuff. And I was going building stuff outside, building stuff out of sticks, you know, and I just made my own stuff. And it really made me happy. And I'm thinking, man, like, why don't we lose that, like, when we're adults, you know, like, you know, I in a way would like to be that kid again, and like really like now having more opportunities, but having those still same desires, having that same health, and like, you know, just do it, you know. And I'm thinking, like, why is it not there anymore? It's like really weird. I would like to get it back. So I'm gonna have to try to work on that. That's like another thing I want to really work on. And I'm thinking maybe it's because our habits change due to our jobs. Our jobs really change us. So in a way, you know, they are paying for your time, but they're really shaping you, they're changing you at the same time. So it's really like, you know, something psychological happens because you are doing a job, because you're trying to get better with a job, you're trying to get, you know, promotions and stuff. So ultimately you're doing something that is required of you by the company. It does not necessarily make you feel better, but it makes you more money. So ultimately, it changes you still in the process, so you end up losing yourself. And this is one thing I wanted to not lose myself, guys. And this is why I created passive income, so that I could feel that I'm back as a kid again. I could sleep in and I could go do whatever I want. Of course, now there's a lot more things I have to manage. So, you know, that's why time management is going to be a little bit more important now, because I can't just simply go do stuff outside. I really still need to, in order to keep everything going that's passive, I still got to, you know, install everything into the internet, right? And continue having that type of income. But I still would like to do some projects. I really want to do, like, I want to still design that car I wanted to do. Like, it's still here. Thank God I didn't lose it yet. But I can't really do that with the time management that I currently have. That would be kind of like impossible. So ultimately, this being a long video, I think the most important thing is, you're probably driving out there and you're probably thinking to yourself, like, what can I do, like, with my life, and what should I be doing? I hope this could be like a little motivation. You know, it is me thinking out loud, basically. It is me just, you know, speaking my heart out and being pretty open about myself, and not really being, you know, scared at what people are gonna think about me and that kind of stuff, because I really don't care, you know, what people think about me and when it's negative. I do care when people think about me something that's positive. And I really hope that, you know, through my information, somebody out there, like-minded person like me, is gonna think, you know what, I kind of, you know, agree with that, and maybe I should start working on, you know, doing something in my life where I could be a little bit more happier and I could achieve those dreams and desires that I had, like, when I was a kid. Because when you're a kid, you're not thinking about bills, you're not thinking about family, you're thinking about just having fun. Maybe you want to play with toys, maybe you want to, like, animate some stuff, maybe you want to just, like, you know, go build something outside. Maybe like a builder, like being a builder, like building stuff out of bricks. I mean, that's probably fun. Or building something out of sticks, that's fun. So we kind of lose that when we grow up, because we're thinking money, money, money. What pays more money, you know? And that's something, thank God I didn't lose, because I'm thinking, I don't care how much money it makes. Yes, sometimes I thought about, like, I'm thinking, okay, look, I really understand expedite, so maybe naturally I should open up my own expedite company, you know, because I already understand it. I'll make so much money. But then I realized, how much money do you really need? You know, guys, if I really had an extra $1,000 a month, man, I'll be set. Seriously, an extra $1,000 would really make a huge difference in my life. And really, I am maybe like a year away from actually achieving that, like $1,000 more passively every, you know, income, you know, like per month. That really would just give me opportunity to do just do whatever I want. Like, I could do anything. I could travel, I could have just more fun, and I could, you know, have that flexibility. So it's not a small chunk of change, it's still about $12,000 per year. But I feel that, how much money do you really need? You don't need $60,000 a month. You don't need $30,000 a month. I mean, the only time you need that, I mean, if you're like on this big level, which I'm not on, I don't even think I want to be on the level. I used to think I did. But I don't want to, because when you're on that level, it consumes you that much more, and then ultimately you're just like a money-making machine. You know, if that makes you satisfied, that is like one thing. But if that doesn't make you satisfied, you're just doing it just to make more money, then that's a problem. Because ultimately, it's really important to do exactly what you like, because maybe you're gonna be making way less money, like 5-10 times less money than, you know, doing thing you really love. And if that's enough for, you know, for your bills and stuff, that's like, you know, that's good. If it's not, then you just got to be doing that on the side, you know, and then just growing a little thing, little by little. Because sometimes our hobbies and our natural, true talents and desires ultimately will make us the most money. And I am really a hardcore believer in that. Even like my personality, I have always had a dreamer personality. I was always told, you're a dreamer, you're a dreamer, you're a dreamer. Yes, I am. And because I'm dreaming all the time, that's why I'm making these things happen. I was always thinking, you know what? Yeah, they would like say, oh, you know, you're talking too much. Oh, you're talking too loud. Well, look, naturally, I'm a speaker. I speak loud, and I talk loud, and I'm a thinker. So in a way, you know, I'm kind of like a philosopher, and you know, of sorts, right? I mean, I don't think I'm like that, you know, educated, but you guys know what I mean. I like to, you know, like philosophically talk about all these things, and, you know, just really talk about stuff, you know. So in a way, kind of like I have a philosopher personality, you know, creative personality. So that is me. Like, I'm not like some machine that needs to be working on a conveyor line just because I get paid, you know, $18 an hour, let's say, right? that's not my dream. That's not what I was created on this world to do. You know, that does not really satisfy my way of thinking. I'm not just living to sustain my lifestyle, just pay my bills and just follow this never-ending triangle. That is not me. So I'm kind of thinking freedom is really important to open up your creativity, and you got to do everything you can to first open up that freedom. That's what I've been working on the longest. It, you know, unfortunately, it has taken me kind of like a while, but not that long though. You know, I bought my home for cash when I was 34 years old. So the 4 years prior to 30, I was working really hard on saving that money. It wasn't really working all the time. I mean, it started really working out, I think, like when I was already like 3 years in. Then I started like really, so like realistically, it only took about 1 year to get to buying my home, you know, for cash. But kind of like it felt like it was longer because, man, I really could not get the ball rolling at first, because a lot of times it's trial and error. You're trying stuff, it's failing, people are telling you you're a loser, and they're thinking that you're not going to be successful, and sometimes you just have to stick with it and keep trying in different ways, and then you're going to be like succeeding. And that's what I was doing, guys. I was keep changing things up, keep changing. Man, sometimes, like, life was really knocking me down, guys. It was really knocking me down. I barely had enough money to make my ends meet, even though I was like really working hard. I really had a lot of stuff that I had to learn how to fix. I didn't know how to fix, but I had to learn how to fix in order to save money, because I just couldn't afford it, you know, to pay somebody else. So ultimately, those struggles led to me being here. So sometimes you have to ask yourself, this struggle that I'm going through my life, like, once I learn it and I go through it, can it help somebody else? Chances are it can. This means you could share this struggle with somebody, and then you really don't know. Well, that's going to help some person, right? That person's going to be thankful. Ultimately, is going to be blessing you, and that blessing is going to be coming back on you. And this is how kind of I feel. Like, I feel that, you know, at first I wasn't really accepting, you know, from some of my fans that was telling me, man, you know how many people you help? You should just ask. I mean, you're just like, I'm like thinking, no, I don't think I'm that big of a deal. You know, no way. You know, and they're like, yes, you are. You know, I'm telling you. And I really could not accept it for the longest time. But then I started really seeing, you know, emails started going through and all this stuff, and people are really being thankful and stuff. And so I think ultimately some of those people are probably blessing me, you know, probably praying for me. And I feel that, hey, it's really helping me in my life, you know, like it's really helping me, you know, and you know, it's really helping me grow, and it's helping me financially, it's helping me physically, mentally. So somebody's praying out there for me. Thank you for that. You know, God bless you. So I feel that it's kind of like, I guess you could call it karma. You know, stuff just comes back and you like, so you help somebody, that comes back. But guys, also this thing that I started like helping people by sharing the information that I know, ultimately started opening up new doors and new opportunities for me, because I started learning new avenues of income. And I'm like, I started really learning this online thing, and I'm like thinking, I didn't know about it. Yeah, sure, I mean, I've used it and, you know, stuff like that, but I did not think of it in this way. But really, if you think about it, this is the future. Like, this is where the future income is going to be. It is going to be, a lot of it's going to be through online. That's like really popular these days. But not to say that other jobs won't exist. I mean, I'm not trying to say that, but I am trying to say that right now, I mean, if anybody wanted to really make passive income online, like, that's really the time to do it. And I'm not saying go out there and join some kind of company that like a pyramid scheme. No. Stay away from those unless you want to learn, you know, some business. You want to learn how to, you know, like a lot of stuff they teach you as far as like selling techniques. It's really good. You could just apply it towards your own thing, not working your, you know, not giving your time to that company, to those companies completely, trying to help grow their brand and their product. Just make your own, just launch your own, and ultimately, if you're gonna put in as much time as you did for them, you're gonna make so much more money. So as a training, I think it's worth it, you know, to join some of those, because the trainings, I guess, is pretty cheap, you know, because a lot of them, they just want to get you in, and then they train you so you could sell their product, but just use that to your advantage, not their advantage, you know. But anyways, guys, man, it was a long conversation. But a lot of you guys said you enjoy these very long videos because some of you guys are driving. And as a driver, I've never ended drivers. I'm still never going to stop traveling or, you know, most likely I'll be back in Expedite just because I really like it. I enjoy it, you know, not because, you know, I need to, but because I really like it, you know, and I support all of you guys that's Expediters out there. You know, I pray for you guys, and I really hope that you will achieve your dreams. Maybe Expediting is your dream, so that means you already achieved it. For me, for the while, I thought Expedite was my dream, but it led me to where I am today, and now I'm following a different path. I'm continuing on, but in a different type of way. But I like to share this stuff with you guys, especially, you know, Expediters out there, because a lot of times it feels like it's never gonna stop, and I know that. Like, it feels like, man, like, is this it? Is this my life now? I mean, it's one thing if you're having enough loads. It's another thing if you're like hardly making it. You have all these bills, all this, you know, expenses, and you're just trying to get your ends meet, and that's really done, you know, a little bit heartbreaking. But it is important, guys, very important, to think ahead, to think in advance, and imagine yourself, like, where do you want to be at least like 1 year from now? And then you have to look back, say, hey, what did I do this year to really get me there? And you have to go back to like last year and the year before and the year before, compare your work to those years and see if anything has changed, see if income has changed, see if you're in a better position. If not, you're gonna have to work on having that change happen. Like, every single year, guys, I make little changes happen. Yesterday I stayed up till 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm still gonna end up staying till about 5 o'clock at night in the morning today, because I am now maximizing my earning potential. I've learned new techniques. I'm always learning, never stop learning, guys. I've learned new techniques to really maximize what I'm doing as far as making online income, passive income. And I'm thinking, if I would have just did this one thing, I would have made like 4 times more income. And even though I wasn't, it has literally, in just a year, it 10x itself. It's 10 times more. So I'm thinking it was already on trend to be 10 times more next year. But if I just do this one thing, I mean, it's gonna really blow it out of the water, you know, I'm thinking. So, I mean, I'm a dreamer, so I have to imagine it, like, if it's gonna happen, and chances are it will. So I'm trying to see, like, am I doing everything that I can right now? So when I do this thing till 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm gonna be done with this one thing, and then I gotta go back again, and then I gotta find it. Like, I gotta like fine tune it. Like right now, like, I'm really setting things up, and then I gotta fine tune these things. And then I gotta be like really successful, and then the next thing would be continuing down the same path and trying to maximize it, make it better. Like, all the time I'm thinking about improving. And guys, I do want to mention this other thing. All these things that I'm talking to you guys about, like, right now, which I'm really not mentioning a lot right now because I don't want to make this video, you know, it's already is kind of, but I didn't know none of these things, guys. I really didn't know none of these things. 4 years ago, I didn't know none of them. You know, I didn't know how to shoot videos. I didn't know how to edit them. As a matter of fact, I was more like an introvert. I was not an extrovert like I am now. I was an introvert, and I really kind of like mind my own business, and I really was not that social, and I am now. I mean, things have changed, and I really, look, there's a lot of stuff that I really didn't care. I didn't care the way I looked. I mean, look, I didn't even do my hair today because I still kind of have that. I didn't care the way I looked. I just didn't care. I didn't care like what people, you know, think. But there's certain things I care about. But I have really changed, like, you know, by doing this channel. Like, I've learned a lot of new stuff. I became a lot more social, and you know, I was already social when it's family, when it's friends. You know, I was social there, but speaking to the world like I am right now, and not having any idea or clue who's actually listening to me right now, this is new. This is new. I mean, this is being a speaker. And a lot of people, they have like stage fright. Well, as you could tell, I don't. But you know, guys, my very first videos, if you go back to like season 1, my Sprinter videos, you will look, I'm speaking with this heavy accent. And I'm not saying I don't have one now, but I was speaking with this heavy accent. That's because I was so nervous that I was really messing things up. And I was really afraid to even show myself on camera because I was really nervous. You know, like when I was recording these videos, and half of the time I really didn't know why I was even, you know, doing it in the first place. All I know is I wanted to share the information with other people, you know, and I didn't think anybody's gonna really pay attention and watch my videos. So, or even like listen to me. And this is why a lot of times I would end up sticking some kind of really bad music on top of it, and it really did not make things fun at all. Which I will stick some music on top of this video, but this time I just think it's gonna give it a little bit more character, I think, hopefully. But I'm experimenting with music again, you know. After all, I'm paying for the service, so might as well use it, right? But before I wasn't paying for the service, and I was using like really copyright free music, because they really demonetize your videos for that and could kick you off the YouTube for that and stuff like that. So definitely not fun. But some of my music was like extra loud. Like right now, you might notice the music is really faint. You could still hear me really well. Plus, I'm using a pretty good microphone. It's like a $70 microphone. But right now, I'm always switching things up, you know. But I think this microphone sounds overall okay. But now right now, music is faint. But before, it was really loud, and it's because I thought, you know, people are probably going to be more interested in listening to music than me. And then I started getting the comments, turn the music off, music is too loud, we can't hear you. And I'm thinking, people actually want to hear me? Like, really? What? That's new to me, you know. So, you know, it's like you have to go through that. It's like you learn, you know, as you go along. I'm thinking, okay, maybe I do have something good to say, you know, and I start sharing some stuff. And I actually go back and I watch some of my videos. I'm thinking, you know, my information is good, but I could have done this differently, I could have done this differently. So I try to see if I could make it a little bit better, you know, and that's like my goal, always improve. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching the video this long. Man, this seems like a very long program for you guys. It actually doesn't feel that long to me. Like, I am completely disconnected from like time. I really think I'm like timeless. Every time I don't think about it. Like, I just don't worry about it. Like, sometimes it's like, oh, you know what time it is? I'm like, I don't care what time it is right now. I'm timeless. I can do whatever I want at any time, and I don't feel that I'm, you know, constricted by time. So this 51 minutes does not feel like a 51 minutes to me at all. But if you are driving, maybe I hope help keep you awake. I hope, at minimum. But my goal of this video is to motivate you to possibly, you know, learn from me, from what I'm saying, and from my actions and my changes, and possibly apply it somewhere in your life, maybe a little bit differently, and probably get a little bit more successful out of it. Because a lot of the stuff I say right now, I wish somebody would have told me this, seriously. And this is ultimately kind of like why I make this type of video, because I'm pretty sure somebody about my age is gonna, you know, say about like, well, listen, you don't tell me nothing new. And I understand. You had about 38 years of age to live, or even longer, because I have audience up to like 55 or 60 that watch me. But I'm pretty sure there's some 25-year-olds out there, and man, if I was 25 years old, I wish somebody would tell me some of the stuff that I'm actually saying right now. Because, man, it would have really changed my life. It would have really made it better for me. You know, I would have been more successful sooner. Because, guys, I think ultimately time management is the key to the whole thing. And planning. Planning is very important. I do plan. Like, that's like one thing I've always been doing. I was always planning, but not always, because my planning was always different. So now my planning is different than before. And, you know, even like expedite, man, if somebody told me about expedite a lot sooner, you know, I would have like been further ahead. So I noticed some 18-year-olds are getting into expedite, so I'm thinking smart, you know, smart. They're gonna start making a lot more money than, you know, getting paid at McDonald's or something. But in a way, I could even prove that's wrong, because McDonald's probably pays you more if you get some overtime, you know, because ultimately an expedite, with the way everything is and how much time you actually put into the work, you actually end up making about minimum wage, really, after you do all your expenses and calculations. I've done those, so I already know that. So it's almost kind of like, hey, if you want to be really ambitious, and if you don't have money for a van, you don't have money to do that, and you really don't want to, you know, like do like expedite, go grab yourself a couple jobs or bunch of overtime, and man, you're gonna be making even better than expediters, and while staying home, while actually making money like that. And I would like to say go get some education, but I think in business, You only need proper type of education to really get yourself, you know, forward. Most of the stuff, it's in books, it's in videos, everything's widely available. I really don't see, you know, like why would you want to really pay for anything unless it's really specific to what you're trying to do, and that's going to really cut down on time by not watching bunch of videos, like hundreds of videos to learn something. Maybe you just pay somebody for one video and then that's it. You get that knowledge right there and then, and you apply it. Then in that case, it really makes sense. It doesn't make sense, however, to buy knowledge and actually like listen to it and not apply it, because simply buying it will not actually achieve your goals. It just will probably make you feel better, kind of like having a gym membership. Like I have it, I don't use it, I have it, makes me feel better, but I'm not using it. So is it really beneficial? No. So I have to start using it. So a lot of knowledge, you have to apply it. And if I have to leave you guys with anything, I'd say very small changes every day. Really minuscule changes really make huge results. All I'm doing every single day is just working on one little thing. I make like one video, then I make like a couple little changes in there once per day. That's it. Doesn't really take that much time, but sometimes I end up working on more, ultimately get more success. But one little change, imagine per day, it's 365 changes in a year. So like one little video could be 365 videos in a year. So you can't really imagine yourself making that much, but a year goes by quick, guys. This year has gone quick for me, really quick. And I'm thinking, yes, I did get a lot accomplished. Yes, I would say this year I worked with hundreds of brands. I've completed my home. I got a lot of stuff done. Plus my channel has grown some, and my affiliate stuff has grown. There's a lot of changes that has grown, you know. It's completely something, you know, interesting. But I'm thinking, look, next year, it better be more changes. It better be a lot more stuff that I'm doing and getting it done. And I'm planning to really do that on this channel for you guys and in my life, because I really like to talk to you guys about stuff that I'm doing, and you know, along with my videos, because a lot of you guys would really like this extra information. Because hey, I mean, I'm not going to be spinning bolts every day, and as a matter of fact, I'm actually getting ready to make a video for you guys, trying to get that sprinter started. It's been rainy for a couple of days, and it's been really cold as well. It's been like 26 degrees in the morning. I wouldn't really want to go out in that weather anyways, really, realistically. That's just too cold for me. And I'm actually standing in my garage, and I'm fairly dressed, okay, but I'm kind of cold. Like my feet are cold. But I'm gonna go try to make that video for you guys right now. Hopefully I get the vehicle started. And with me saying that, that's more like, I want to make more of those videos for you guys. I really want to, you know, get inside and like help you guys change fuel injectors, showing you guys some extra tools and stuff like that. Oh yeah, one thing I failed to mention. Please like this video. Please subscribe to my channel, guys. Please come back for more videos. And if you guys are looking for inexpensive parts that's going to help you, you know, fix your sprinter, and some tools to help you do it, guys, I always have now these affiliate links in the description below. If somebody feels like supporting me, like supporting my channel and like my mission, what I'm doing, because really this is the only thing that I'm doing, and I'm really staying positive. And besides everything that I'm saying, and it sounded like successful, you know, I would not be half successful if I didn't have my house. If I didn't have my house, guys, this money that I'm making now would not be enough to sustain myself if there was rent. So I'm not making that much money, you know, but I am making enough because I have very minimum bills. So, but I am choosing to use my time in order to make more videos that help people. That's actually what I'm using, you know, my time for. If I use it to create more money, you know, like with business and, you know, like selling stuff, and it would really take away from this, and then it means I would make more money there and then provide less information here, which was kind of happening on this channel earlier this year. I was working with a lot more brands, and I was getting a lot of stuff done for them while really neglecting my channel. And I really kind of thought, you know what, I need to do something different. I need to get back and start making a lot of these printer videos that help people. But if anybody wants to donate money to my PayPal, feel free to do it. You know, I am really surprised. There hasn't been a single donation yet. And some channels, they get like a lot of donations and they're really not even like helping that much. It's more like entertainment. My channel don't get like no donations, and I know I help a lot of people. So it's kind of weird because I really don't expect it, and I'm not like begging for money, but I really don't expect it. But think about how much money I saved some of you guys, a lot, because I shared my information. At times I was willing to pay $500 for the information, but nobody had it, you know. So, and I'm sharing it, and I'm kind of thinking, you know, a lot of people they just like to take the information, apply it, save money, and then where it comes from, they really could care less. The only reason I'm actually able to continue doing what I'm doing is because through YouTube ads. And then think about it. When is the last time you watch my ads? Unless there's, you know, they're non-skippable, then you have like no choice but to watch them. And YouTube only implemented this year. But anyways, I make my money through ads. If you don't watch it, then I'm not making money from you at all. So, anyways, take care of yourself, guys. God bless you. See you guys in my next video, and thank you for staying this long with me. Bye-bye. My name is Serge Zimaleta. I'm 37 years old, and yes, I experienced success after buying my first home for cash. Back in 2011, I was broke, but I learned to solve problems on my own. Now, I'm helping others to solve their problems. I know what pitfalls to avoid to stay profitable in business. Need motivation to be more successful in your life? Do you have Sprint or Expedite or business problems? Then subscribe. Let's find creative solutions to your problems. Hit the bell notification so you don't miss any of my helpful videos.